Okay, before I teach you the quickest way to actually learn 12 major triads in all 3 inversions, I've got to explain to you what an inversion is. Inversion simply means to turn something around. So if I take this pencil and I turn it around, I've inverted it. In other words, instead of the point facing that way, the point is now going to face that way. So with chords, the same principle works. This is very good when you want to be able to play the same chords but have a different effect. It's like taking a photograph of a bird. You take the photograph from the front, take the photograph from the side, or from the back, or from the top. You get a different sound, but it's the same chord. For example, here's a C chord, and this is also a C chord. So I always like to say it adds flavor or spice to your playing. Instead of playing everything in root position, is I've played the same 3 chords in different inversions, and you can hear that there is much more variety in playing in that way. So now let's look at the C chord and see how we're going to invert it. So here's the C major triad, C, E, and G. Now I'm going to invert it. What I do is I take the bottom note, the tonic of the chord, and I place it at the top. So the notes are exactly the same, it's just in a different inversion or different position. So it's still C, E, G, C, E, G. But the C is at the top now, which gives a different, what we call voicing. We're going to invert it one more time. We're going to take the E and we're going to place it at the top. The notes are still the same. It's still a C, a E, and a G. We always call that the root position, first inversion, and then we call this the second inversion. Now, to be able to calculate what a root is, first inversion, what a second inversion is, what we do is we look at the intervals between the notes. The root position is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 and a 3 at the bottom. How many notes do we have between there and there? It's 1, 2, 3. Okay, and how many notes from the bottom note to the top note? It's actually 6. A 6, 3 to identify it as first inversion. When we do second inversion, we place a 6 from there to there and a 4 from there to there. So it's a 6 at the top and a 4 at the bottom. Now, a good way to practice inversions . That's what we call a broken chord. Okay, now for the exercise on how to learn these 12 major triads as quick as possible. We're going to move from E major to D major down to C major. You see the pattern? E major, D major, C major, B flat major, A flat major, F sharp major. First doing the exercise number 1, which is alternating root position and second inversion. And we're starting on the E. E major in root position, A in second inversion, a D root position, G second inversion, C root position, F second inversion, B flat root position, E flat second inversion, A flat root position, D flat second inversion, F sharp, root position, B, second inversion. Okay, the second exercise we're going to do is alternating first inversion chord and a root position. So if I'm playing in the key of E, the tonic of the key of E is that in root position. In first inversion, I'm going to take the bottom note, I'm going to place it at the top. E in first inversion, A root position, D first inversion, G root position, C first inversion, F root position, B flat first inversion, E flat root position, A flat first inversion, D flat root position, F sharp first inversion, B root position. Exercise number 3 is going to be alternating second inversion and first inversion. Okay, so if we took the E major chord, got a root position, we've got our first inversion, and now we're going to have our second inversion. So we're going to start off with second inversion, and we're going to go to a first inversion A chord. Exercise number 3. Chord names: E second inversion, A first inversion, D second inversion, G first inversion, C second inversion, F first inversion, B flat second inversion, E flat first inversion, A flat second inversion, D flat first inversion, F sharp second inversion, and B first inversion. Once you've learned those sequences, you can do exactly the same in the left hand.